Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ummu Atira binti Ilyas. Our topic is the colour of Malaysia. Basically, we'll be talking about the culture and festival in Malaysia. First, let me introduce my group member. Siti Noriana will be talking about the traditional dance. Siti Nur Fatihah will be talking about food in Malaysia. Ilya Amalina binti Mahmud will be talking about the traditional clothes. And Noridayu Jamal will be talking about festival in Malaysia. Introduction. Malaysia has its origin from Malay Kingdom and became subject for British Kingdom during 18th century. However, it gained its freedom on 1963. Since then, Malaysia has become a multiracial country and is made up of Malay, Chinese, Indians and many other races. Because of that, we share all our culture and festival and celebrate it together. Malaysia has strong sense in respecting historical value, and because of that, today you can see Malaysians wear their traditional clothes, still eat their traditional food, and even celebrate festival and marriage in a very traditional way. We will focus more on Malay, Chinese, Indian, and even Iban and Kadazan in our next slide. That's all from me. I will invite next presenter, Siti Noriana, to talk about traditional dance.
To Ms. Ummu Atira for a very informative presentation. Now let's move to the next part. I'm Siti Noriana binti Rosli and I'm going to talk about several examples of traditional dances in Malaysia. As we know, dance is a very popular cultural form in Malaysia. Each ethnic group has its own dance forms which characterize its culture. Malaysian dances can be identified with certain regions or religious practices which are often performed in festive celebration, wedding parties, cultural shows, religious ceremonies or other public events. So next, I will show some examples of cultural dance of the four major racial groups in our country. The examples of traditional well-known dance for Malay is joget. Joget is a popular dance at social function and Malaysia's most popular traditional dance. Usually it's performed by couples. The music and steps are same as cha-cha, but the man and woman never touch each other and they move around in a circle. For Indian dance, the most popular dance is called Bharatanatyam. This classical Indian dance is a solo female performance. It usually requires various steps of standing position, movement of legs and feet and hand gesture are executed to the beat of the tabla and other traditional instruments. This highly intense and energetic dance uses over 100 dance steps and gestures. For Chinese, the most popular dance is Chinese lion dance. It is usually performed during Chinese New Year. This dance is a very energetic and entertaining dance. According to a legend, the lion was the only animal that could ward off a mythological creature known as Nian. The dance is almost performed to the beat of tabu and the Chinese drum. It is usually requiring perfect coordination, elegance and nerves of steel. Last but not least, for Sabah and Sarawak dance, the most popular dance is called Sabah and Sarawak Majat. The warrior dance is a traditional dance of Sarawak Iban people and usually performed during Gawak Kenyalang or Hornbill Festival. Usually the warrior will wearing an elaborate headdress and holding an ornate long shield. So for the next part, I will pass to Ilya to proceed the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Ilya Amalina binti Mahmud. So now I will continue with traditional clothes. So basically, Malaysian traditional costumes can be seen throughout the length and range of Malaysia. Malaysia have many races like Malay, Chinese, Indian, and also ethnic from Sabah and Sarawak. So from each races have their own beautiful costumes, and it's a very distinct between each races. So now I will start for the Malay costume first. So for the Malay costume male, they use baju Melayu. So as you can see from the slide, there's a sample for baju Melayu, and then for the headdress, they use songkok. Now I continue with baju kurung, which is used for female Malay. So these are shown the baju kurung, which is a knee-length blouse worn over long skirt. And then sometimes they wear with scarf or shawl. Okay, now I continue with Chinese. So Chinese is popular with the costume cheongsam. Cheongsam is a one-piece dress with a high collar diagonally closed with small clips or toggles. And it also has slits at the side, and they use soft fabric. Basically, they use silk. And this one for the men, they use samfu. Now I continue with Indian. Indian is famous with their costume, which we call sari. Sari, the length is basically 5 to 6 yards, and they use a wide variety of material such as cotton, silk, and etc. Okay, now we move to ethnic in Sabah and Sarawak. So first I start in Sarawak first. Iban, they wear baju burung. For the male, they have vest and sirat woven loin clothes. Accessories such as a belt, armlet, and anklet made from silver, and a headgear decorated with hornbill feathers. So you can see from this picture. And then for the female, they use bidang clothes, married empang, which is a chest adornment. So the headdress that the female wear is subu tinggi. Okay, so now for kadazan. Kadazan papa, embellished color and gold thread. Headgear which is made from bamboo strips known as siong. And when they participate in Sumazau dance, they wear a jacket and trousers with gold trimmings and a woven destar cloth. And the headgear known as siga. So from this picture you can see at the right is what they wear for the Sumazau dance. Okay, now I continue with peranakan, which is, we call it as baba nyonya. This actually they're adopted Malay tradition. So they use Malay's baju kurung, but we call it as a baju kubaya, and they use it with bush tree kerongsang. Okay, I think that's all from me. Now we move to food in Malaysia. I invite Siti Fatihah to continue.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Siti Fatihah binti Muhammad Syaib, and I will be presenting about food in Malaysia. Okay, from what we know, Malaysia consists of the major races in Malaysia is Malay, Chinese, and Indian.
For Malay, the well-known food is nasi lemak. They cook the rice with santan, and they serve with egg, nuts, sambal, ikan bilis, and cucumber. Okay, for Chinese, the well-known food is Hainan chicken rice. They call Hainan chicken rice because the recipe is from Hainan, and they serve with soup, sambal, chili, cucumber, and also chicken. For Indian, the well-known food is thosai. The taste is quite sour, and they serve with kuah dal or curry. Okay, that's all from me. I will invite Nurhidayu Jamal. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nurhidayu binti Jamal, and today I would like to talk further more about festival and celebrations in Malaysia. Okay, basically we have three main races in Malaysia, which is Malay, Chinese, and Indians. For Malays, the main festivals we celebrated is Hari Raya Puasa and Hari Raya Haji. Okay, as you know, for Hari Raya Puasa, this denotes the end of fasting months of Ramadan, and usually in the morning Hari Raya, the men and young men go to the mosque for supplication to God, after which family visit the grave to left friends and family. Like Chinese, the Malay also give like ampau, but then for Malay we call it as duit raya, and it is given in green and colorful bundle. Okay, for Hari Raya Haji, the festival commemorates Ibrahim's animal sacrifice to God on place of his son Ismail. Hari Raya Haji is also known as Hari Raya Korban, Usually the animal sacrificed in this festival is sheep, which is then distributed to the poor people. Okay, we go for the Chinese. Okay, for Chinese we have Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year marks the beginning of new lunar years, it falls on a different date each year. Chinese residents celebrate this occasion in stylish red or gold colors. It is a common sight to see red pieces of paper with Chinese calligraphy bearing good wishes placed onto doors and walls. Distribution of hongbao, red packets containing money by parents and relatives to unmarried children. For the second one is Cap Gome. Cap Gome is literally the 15th day after the Chinese New Year. It is the official end of the festivities on full moon night. Usually at the temples, a troop of minions may give a display of fireworking. Monday day of Cap Gome is a family day and many people hang out red lanterns or the firework for the New Year.
3.
For the third races, which is Indian, they usually celebrated Thaipusam and Deepavali. For Thaipusam, celebration in which Hindu pilgrims for all over Malaysia meets at the Batu Caves, which is one of the most popular Hindu shrines outside of India that is dedicated to Lord Murugan. Libation of milk and honey made to the god and colorful display of flowers and fruit are carried. And then for the Deepavali is known as the Festival of Light. It is an occasion of celebration for both Hindu and Sikh. It marks the beginning of New Year for certain North Indians. Some believe that the departed soul of relative will descend during this time and rows of tiny oil lamps are used to guide them on a journey to the next world. Okay, for the conclusion, I will pass to the Umu Atira to conclude everything that we have presented today. Thank you.
For the conclusion, even we are made up of a different race and culture, we already proved that we can live together in harmony and can still achieve success everywhere in every field. The key is toleration and understand each other. This world is not ours and there is no use for us to fight against each other. So we must learn to live together and have to accept that not everyone is the same. That's all from us. Thank you.